Okay, everybody out there in Motorcycle Cannonball land, getting ready to go live in about 7 minutes with this evening's presentation of Motorcycle Cannonball Chronicles. I'm Chris Callan, working the controls here for the guys from Cannonball, and I want to welcome you all to the show. If you are into crazy riders, crazy drivers, motorcycle maniacs, racing their underpowered vintage motorcycles across the United States in haphazard fashion, we're going to have a great show for you tonight. Stick around while we build up the social media, and we'll be right back with Cannonball Chronicles Live. Just about 4 minutes left on the clock until we go live. We're running a little bit late tonight, so we're going to kick this thing off for you guys and get the show started.
Well, hey there, Motorcycle Cannonball Nation. It's Jason Sims again, and I'm coming to you live tonight here on Facebook and YouTube. I am joined with Rob Nussbaum of RetroCycle. We have a really, really great night planned for you all. We hope that you guys have a lot of interaction with us. Make those comments, make those shares, send us out there. Everybody's going to want to hear what's going on tonight, right, Robbie?
That's right, Jason. I'm here in the actual RetroCycle studio. I was working all day on this thing. How you been? I haven't talked to you in over a week, right, Jason?
Oh, man, it's been crazy. I mean, it's just been so busy here. I'm actually in Springville, Utah right now. I've been helping out with the Legends Museum. Been super busy down here. Had a special guest with me all weekend. More on that to come. Probably not on this episode, but hopefully more on that to come. Weather's beautiful.
That's pretty exciting
Getting out
news.
there riding. Just having a great time. I'm actually working on this bad boy right back here, the 1925 Harley Davidson JD, known as Dutch.
Dutch. Why is it known as Dutch?
Wow, that's just because it's a cool name.
I thought there was some Von Dutch story attached to this.
Yeah. Well, actually, there is. This particular bike back here was owned by Bud Eakins, world famous stunt rider, Harley Davidson dealer, and it was painted by none other than Kenny Howard, Von Dutch. So, since it's been in my collection here a few years ago, it had to have the name Dutch.
Well, that's a really cool bike. I've actually seen that bike. It's pretty neat. Hey, I want to say hello to everybody out there who's on Facebook and YouTube and whatnot, who's on social media typing in some stuff. I see Tim Kearns, Chris Simmons. Any Cannonball riders who are watching, I'd love you guys to put in your Cannonball number and the year. And if you're multi-years, then your number's probably the same. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your questions, comments. We have been working on the show all week this week, and hopefully we've got it streamlined a little better than last week, but the response was very good, and we were pretty excited when we got done through the first show. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Jason,
Absolutely.
You have any thoughts about how things went?
Oh man, it was a blast. We had a great time. Loved all the comments. I loved going back and seeing all the interaction that we had. It was great. Even if we're doing a crappy job, please let us know.
Just let us know nicely.
Yes.
Let us know anything. We just want to hear from you.
Right on.
Hey, Jason, Rowdy's in the room. Rowdy and Ryan are in the room.
Oh, no kidding? I just talked to both of those guys today,
I'm
man.
seeing Rowdy.
Yeah.
Cannonball Padres are here.
Well, I see we got Chris and Pat.
It's pretty cool.
I've been thinking about them all week because when I go out in the open, this is what I'm wearing.
Nice.
So this is my attire for the week.
So, Jason, I'm always amazed when I talk to people. Well, I'm not amazed. People seem to know a lot about the Cannonball. But for those people who are tuning in for this first time, tell us kind of what the Cannonball is.
Well, the Cannonball's really the ultimate test of man versus machine. You know, it's putting man and machine in the same place, seeing if they can get these things across the country in one piece and getting themselves in one piece across the country. You know, it's just not about the machine. Sometimes it's about the man. It's about the families that are involved. It's just a real true endurance. Probably it's the hardest race on earth.
See, so I think some people out there don't realize that the Cannonball this year and the last time that we did it was 1928 and earlier motorcycles, which
correct.
That's kind of an amazing feat for those bikes to go cross country or long endurance run like that. And what more can you say about that?
Absolutely. I mean, look at when these things were built in 1928, 1929. A lot of the bikes that run with us in 1916 to that 1925, we got a lot in there. Think about what the conditions were like 100 years ago, 90 years ago. These things were riding on dirt roads. They were doing 15, 20 miles an hour, you know, and they were only being ridden for short periods of time, 10, 15, 20, 30 miles here and there. They weren't not made to run 250, 300 miles a day at 45, or as our guest tonight runs at 42.5 miles an hour all day, every day. They just weren't really meant to do that kind of endurancing and that kind of challenge.
So how many interstates did we have back then for the younger viewers?
Whew. I don't think there was one.
Zero.
No,
I don't know.
No super
Rob,
slab.
Zero.
Rob, you would probably know. I think you were around that time, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I might have to check with Mike Carson on that one.
Oh.
In case anybody is wondering, there's a lot of smack talk at Cannonball, isn't there?
Oh my.
Gosh. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. So, Jason, one of the components of the Cannonball is some of the swag that you guys have that you sell at the stops and at the finish. Just give us a brief description of what some of the viewers could purchase if they were looking for some Cannonball memorabilia or items.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with any event, we always have merchandise available. It helps. It's what helped keeps the organization going. It's what helped keep us with this show. Everything that we do with our merchandise, we put right back into the program by offering more and better things, better experiences for the riders, and better experiences for the general public. So, you know, really helps to support us. Like I said, all the support that we get from the merchandise goes right back into the event. So you can get great things like this. 2020 Motorcycle Cannonball t-shirts, hats, everything. We got really great stuff for your man cave, and try to offer something for everybody.
Well, that's great stuff. That's great stuff right there. So what do you think? You want to get into somebody here?
I don't know. What do you think? This could get kind of crazy.
I'm a little hesitant. We have a special guest tonight, and he's known pretty well as a character and a great help to the motorcycle Cannonball Nation.
He's a world famous jokester.
He's playing a prank on us right now because he slid down into the bottom of his shot.
Well, maybe we can have him pop into the shot. Can we switch over to him? Have him duck down and pop into the shot. Well, his name is on screen. So let's, with no further ado,
Stevie, you're live on Cannonball Chronicles.
It's really
Steve, you're so really short.
Hang on. It's a great pleasure to be here. Getting to talk to everybody tonight. Rob, thank you. Chris, Heather, Jason, I want to thank everybody for having us on there tonight.
Right on, man.
There you go,
it's good
Steve.
To see
you
guys.
Got to tilt your camera down a little bit so we can see you. And you're cutting Dee Dee totally out of the shot.
Well, I'm trying to.
Well, Robbie, you know he is from West Virginia. They ain't used to this kind of technology. They're used to sticks.
Yeah, well, you know, Jason, you got in trouble last week for dissing the guys from Kansas, so you got to be careful there.
Yeah. They did send me some hate mail. So
that was interesting. I got the same hate mail, and I laid it all back on you, pal. So, Steve, tell me a little bit about yourself, Steve. What's your background here? Before we get into your motorcycles, what is your background? The man, the myth, the legend.
Well, there's not a whole lot of myth or legend. It's just, you know, my dad, he rode Indian motorcycles as a young guy, and that's all. You know, Indian had already went out of business when he started riding, and it was you know, they were pretty cheap back here in the hills. And, you know, so we kind of picked up on it later on in life. I guess the twins, they were 5-6 years old maybe at the time when we started in this hobby. And, you know, we picked up one, and then we found another one and another one, and it just kept leading on and on. And, you know, you find yourself buying an old motorcycle and you fix it up. You say, man, I can't wait to ride it. And then you're working on another project, and that one is done, and I roll it out of the way and start on the next one. And you never really get a good opportunity to take them out and give them a ride. And this Cannonball, when Ronnie Jr. offered in 2010 for us to participate. You know, I told Ronnie then, you know, I didn't have a Headstrom 15 or earlier bike to ride, so we passed. And then in 2012, it was a pre-30s, and he come to me. He said, "Hey," he said, "I opened this up just so you could ride a 101." And you know, from then on, it's been we've been kind of going full bore with, you know, trying to get bikes ready. And of course, we've been doing a lot of customer work now. And you know, I used to be in the excavating and trucking business, and we retired in 2006. I took my trucking equipment garage and turned it into my own little motorcycle mayhem shed. Jason's been here. We turned a few nuts and bolts here and broke a few parts. So,
Oh yeah.
Hell, I fixed a panhead in that garage.
Yeah, tell us about that, Steve. I heard there's a good story behind it.
Every now and then somebody will sneak in brand X on me, but you know,
Rob,
it was all good.
Rob, after he was so nice to let me a space in the garage and the
I
tools,
think Chris worked here till about 2 o'clock one night.
he told me he was just going to burn the tools.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't even clean them up. We're gonna throw them tools out."
That's too funny. Hey, Steve, I'm
funny.
gonna ask you another favor here and just tilt the camera down a little bit more because you guys are really cut off. That's pretty good right there.
We want to see some of that sexy chest of yours. There you go. I know you've been working out.
I heard it.
You got to remember, I'm not very tall.
Well, I know that.
I heard a little story about you being a pilot. That's a scary thought.
What did he say? About who?
You said you're. We want to know that you're a pilot.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah, I mean, just anybody can fly. You can buy an airplane and fly. I mean, you don't really have to have a license, per se. I flew for, I don't know, about 25 years. Dad had the license. I just like to stick it around. But, yeah, and then finally later on, I had to get my license. But, yeah, we was in the plane business for a while. I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
nice.
Yeah.
There's part of one.
Well, what is that?
Well, this is actually a home built. It was it's a Flybaby, and I needed a motor for an airplane that we had, and this one had a good motor, so we got the motor out of it. Never did use it, and Jared come in one. I guess it was the Thanksgiving holiday. Jared come in, and he and I put it together, and we hoisted it up.
Steve, we're kind of losing your audio. You got to get back by the.
You gonna move back close to the door.
Steve. So we're gonna say goodnight to Steve now. What'd you say?
I can't hear you, Rob.
Where's Dee Dee?
Hey,
Let
when
me
you're
talk
in
to
the back-
Dee Dee. She's got the good ears. Dee Dee, what the? I mean, Saint Dee Dee. What's it like living with Steve?
Well, you guys are fantastic. It's great. What are you talking about? What are you on? I mean, you should know from the Cannonball. I mean, he rides hobby horses. He rides the quarter cars. I mean, it's an 8-year-old nonstop forever.
So you had 3 kids, is what you're saying?
Right.
So I heard Steve keeps you pretty busy in the shop. What are your duties there?
what are my duties? I get to do just a little bit of everything. I get to sandblast.
Everything.
Yeah, I get to test fit. We test fit all the time around here.
Wow, when I was there,
Nice.
I had a great experience. And Dee Dee, she really ran the show there, by doing all the different work. And she can make a mean sandwich. She brings the donuts. I mean, it was flipping awesome.
Yep,
Oh, that's great.
I do whatever it's needed to do around here.
Wow, when I came home from your guys' place, I tried to instill some of the stuff that I seen in your guys' shop into my wife, and I'm sure you probably know how well that went. She said.
So, Dee, you ran support.
We've been together a long time. High school sweethearts, so.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
High school
great.
sweethearts.
Right
Dee Dee, you ran support in the last Cannonball. I don't know about the one before that, but tell me some of the trials and tribulations of running support for the three children that you have.
For the 3 children. Well, the main thing is the race from motel to motel, because you have to hurry up as soon as the guys leave on their route that morning. You have to hurry up, follow your directions, because you have your own set of directions for the support crew. So we get to the next stopping point at the motel we're going to stay at, and it's my job to pick out a spot that has the best light. We're away from everybody. We've got convenient spots. We're not in the gravel. We're hopefully on asphalt. And then lug up all the luggage, get all their gear ready for when they come in. They can work on bikes, get cleaned up, and get ready for the next day.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's
you did a great.
And you're all by
great
yourself,
job,
right? It's just you.
Right. We have a lot of fun. And I get lists of things that they possibly need for the next evening. I mean, you can't possibly carry everything you need with you. We try, but sometimes I get to make some pit stops and find things that they need for the next evening, or while they're working, go ahead and run out and grab more stuff for the day off. We even gather more things that we need.
Well, you would have thought, Dee Dee, that
That's
you've
beautiful.
been doing all the Cannonballs with all these guys, but really just this last one's the only one that you've been on. And I mean, you really came across as a pro, and some of the teams that have been there for since day one, you really showed them a thing or two. It was fun for a lot of us to see that a women's support crew, and we've only had a few of them. Yourself and Steve DeCosa's wife, Joan DeCosa. They've really fit the bill and stepped in,
Right.
and really, they probably the best support crews that we've seen are the women.
Well, that's good. That's good. We know, you guys got to eat. Gotta be healthy.
Without proper attention, we won't
Gotta
eat.
have your clothes stay. That's not all the parts.
Yeah. Well, we know. Well, we know Steve likes to eat, and if he doesn't eat, he sure does get grumpy.
That's right. That's right.
Boy, he's given me an earful once or twice.
Yeah, and he hates stop, and there be no food left. That makes
Right.
him unhappy. He gets a little angry.
All right. So Steve.
So we've been beating up on Steve. Oh, go ahead, Jason.
No, you go ahead.
We've been beating up on Steve. Steve, how about you show us a little bit of your shop and a couple of your bikes, your Cannonball bikes?
All right. So let me get the camera rolled around here. Well, here's looking out the back.
Wow.
Facing out the back. Our sidecar we built back in 2000. We ride it from time to time. Here's a couple of projects something back there, Jason Sims. We'll work on that one day, but this is stuff in there. Here's a 101 I bought for Dee about 6 years ago. I'll get around to it someday. You don't have to worry about it. We have been robbing.
Yeah, all the new Cannonball bikes this year got parts off of them.
Here's the ugliest 101 on the planet, right?
Hey, that's Ugly Betty, man. She's so
we found
sweet.
this in Del Rio, Texas. That's Ugly Betty.
Nice.
I love that.
What year is that?
That's 1928. We found it in the back
1928,
of
and you
it was in the back of a delivery van. So somebody had rode it back in the day, blowed it up, and then rode it home. But the cool thing about this old bike that we like, we're big fans of the 101. I guess the old guy that owned it, he wanted a skirted fender Indian so bad, and I guess he couldn't afford it, so he actually retrofitted skirted fenders onto the original 101 fenders. Now the chain guard come off of the Chief that he fitted up, but those still are the original fenders off of the original bike, 1929 101. But
And you rode that. You rode that in which Cannonball?
I've never rode this one. It ain't even finished yet.
This will be for this year's Cannonball.
Oh, you just have the number plate?
Yeah, I've had that one since 2012. The rest of the number plates are over here in the folder on the file cabinet one. Now this will be our first
And you've been in how many Cannonballs now?
This will be 5. I've done 4, and this will be our 5th one.
Nice.
So let's talk about
Nice.
the past Cannonball experiences. Which one's been your favorite so far?
In past Cannonballs, I would have to say probably the past Cannonballs, my favorite, was probably in 2016, and that's probably it, hands down. Everybody had to have a 100-year-old motorcycle, of course, and Justin and Jared tagged along for the first time. They each rode their own bike. We talked to Lonnie. We had the second bike, and he said, yeah, that would be great. They were going to take turns. And then we kept buying pieces and parts, and I thought, man, I could build a third bike. And really leaned on Lonnie to let us run a third bike. And so we ran the third one. But my dad, he was 79, I guess, that year. And that was the last year he drove the support truck for us. So me and the twins and my dad, it was pretty much a 3-generation swing for us to go and do this thing. And we got very lucky. Jared and I each made a perfect score that year. Justin, the Magneto man, he hopefully we'll get him there someday, Mike. We're gonna try real hard this year. I loaned him that blue bike a week ago, and he got on it and rode it 10 miles, and the Magneto crapped out. And I don't know what he's doing. So
He's
Steve,
getting to be bad luck.
we're gonna take. Can you hang around for a little bit? We'll bring you back in a little bit. We're gonna take a little break here, and break off to Michael Lichter for a few minutes, and then we'll come back to you, and maybe we can get the boys on here too if we can figure this out.
okay.
All right. So, Chris, I see social media. So when we come back, we'll have a little bit with the social media. I know Chris Simmons has a great story about Steve. Maybe Steve can bring us back up to speed on that. Without that, Chris, do we have a commercial to break?
We do.
To break to right now?
We do.
All right.
We're gonna do
So
a
bring
little,
us into that, would you?
We'll do a little business for the show and be right back with more Motorcycle Cannonball Chronicles.
Kicker pedal, go like 75 up on it.
I didn't hear the rules. George and I have to see for a lot of bids.
You are allowed.
Oh, we were wondering about that.
Hey, we're all just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's an 81 special motor.
So this is our big ticket item right now. You can just go right up on the screen and start hitting it, start pricing, sell it right here, right now. All you have to do is go ahead and type in the number. You know, they're always hard to find the complete pieces all together.
Whoops, I got a bad echo.
Chase for the 48. In the coming weeks, we're gonna have more cars to step up. If you have stuff, Suzuki's, Yamahas, bring it all. Thanks for having us.
Hey, that's a really cool program.
We're back.
Did you get to check it out at all this weekend?
I saw some of it, and I thought they're on to a good start there. It's pretty cool. They got a live swap meet. It's a really interesting concept, and hopefully we'll get a lot more people on there, a lot more really interesting products to sell. It's called Cyber Swap. Chris, you want to give us a little rundown on that?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys giving me a second for that. So basically what we wanted to do, with as great as it is to have all this stuff today with, the chopper swappers and the Facebook marketplace, it's great. You have access to parts all over the world almost instantaneously. But the one thing that's missing is the culture around the swap meet, getting the story about the bike that those parts were on, the old guy that had it, the bickering to get down to the place where you want to do business with somebody. So some of that's coming back, and we're trying to set this thing up. We're feeling it out as we go. So if you guys have any ideas, you watch the show and you think there's something that we could be doing better, or if you want to participate, just go to cyclesource.com. There's a whole landing page for the Cyber Swap meet. Go check it out. Come on, participate, keep this part of the motorcycle heritage alive. That's what I know.
You got any? Do you have any people from social media? Any outstanding things? I know Chris had a question, Chris Simmons had a question, which I'm going to bring up when Steve comes back. You see anything? Lot of people telling us what Cannonball number they are.
I don't have any Cannonball numbers. A lot of people from all over the world, Australia and in Great Britain, or and the common thread here is, man, do I wish that I could do this, and this is a truly unusual thing, probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest thing to happen in motorcycling in 2 decades. So support these guys. If you want to see this show and this event continue to do well, make sure while these guys are going live, you get up to the top corner of the show, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the share button, set up your alerts so that when they go live, and we can keep this kind of program coming at you. And just real quick on that, we want to thank Choppertown for helping us do that.
Absolutely.
Right. And Heather took me off a while back saying that don't do a watch party, even though it would be nice to have your friends. We get more viewers by hitting the like and share buttons. So if you want to just share it with your friends, that's fine. Do a watch party, but we would like you to hit the like and share. And it's nice to know that we have people from all over the world watching.
Here we go. Number 30, number 21, 120, number 89. Number 89.
So we got Dave Minerva, Keith Cardell.
Look at you go.
We've got Trisha Chance.
Number 64.
Very cool.
I'm just kind of looking back in here.
Cannonballers, keep them coming.
Looking back through here, I'm seeing Dave Courier, Shane Masters, Chris Tribby, Mr. Scott Bird, which I think we got him on next week, don't we?
Yes, Scott Bird will be on with us next week, and that should be interesting.
Right.
And if anybody else wants to come on, please let us know. We want to have as many Cannonballers as we can on here and have you share your stories with us.
Absolutely.
But I think Kristen I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
Also seeing Kristen Helling, Loring Hill, Andrea LaBarbera.
Bob Ziola.
David Lloyd, lots of Kelly Maudlin from Twisted Oz.
It's the whole family.
We got a lot of people on here tonight. George Unruh. Really a lot of people chiming in here. So thank you for your support. Thank you for everything that's going on. We want to keep bringing great content. And you.
Right on
the show.
So,
All right, let's go to Michael Lichter here because he's got some great shots, and let's see what Michael has to share with us this week.
You know, before we go to Michael, I just want to talk about what this segment means to the show, because this is such a great thing. Recently, I got to see Michael do a segment with Ella Von Dutch out of Italy, and they were going over his photos one at a time. And Michael's agreed to come on the show and really get into the in-depth of like that moment in time. You know, when you look at a picture by somebody like a photographer like this, it's amazing the things that get captured in that photo. It's truly that picture is worth 1,000 words. So we're super stoked to have Michael on. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Mr. Lichter.
Well, hey there, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
His phone is muted.
Hi.
Michael, we see your lips moving, but nothing's coming out.
Michael got a new microphone today, and we were testing with it, so give him 1 second there.
We can talk about him now, right?
There you go. Yes, you
He
can.
can't hear us, or we can't hear him.
I think you got it. Nope.
Oh, the joys of technology.
Right.
Live television. See, we've come full circle. We've come
We're
right
telling
back
you,
to
this
live
is total-
television.
Totally
It's
unscripted. Totally unscripted. You would hardly believe
Totally.
it. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Did we lose him?
No, he's still there.
He's still there.
Well, while we're trying to figure this out, Rob, what's been new in the maintenance world?
Maintenance world. Well, we got right behind me over here. I got Tom Banks' 1913. And we got that running just a few days ago. I posted the pictures on Facebook. The feedback's been pretty good. Tom seems to be happy he's going to come out and pick it up. We still have to work on your bike a little bit, your engine. That's not going to be for the Cannonball. And we got a couple 1913 singles we're working on right now. So,
Excellent.
and Chris Simmons just told me that Gumby made it home.
Uh-oh.
So Gumby traveled back to Hawaii to be with his mom.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of good stuff coming out on social media with, on our Facebook groups and the Facebook page and individual rider pages and their team support pages of, they're really just starting to get all these things dialed in now. I think we're about 100 days out, and really this is the prime time, to get all the shakedown and all that kind of stuff done.
What are you going to be riding this year, Jason?
That's a good question. I haven't really decided yet. I got a couple things up my sleeve. I got a couple old dogs waiting. We'll just have to see. I'm going to make it a surprise for everybody. So,
Okay, fellas, I believe we have Mr. Lichter ready to go.
excellent. Hey, Michael, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. Is that too loud by any chance? I don't want to hurt anybody's ears.
No, you're good.
No, perfect.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Too
Chris
many
will take
buttons
care
I've
of
hit.
that.
But I'm back and I'm ready. Sorry about that.
Excellent. So
That's
thank you for
fine.
coming
It's
back
live
with us
television,
again.
Michael. We're back to the 50s.
It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to see all the names that are chiming in online there, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of people chiming in tonight. We had a lot of great response from last week's segment with you with the pictures worth 1,000 words. What do you got for us this week?
Well, today we have a photo of Nimi. Nimi is Shinya Kimura's riding partner, and I thought it was a good segue from last week since we had Shinya's photo last week. So actually we have the same photo this week, same bike. It's Shinya Kimura's 2015 Indian, and they alternated days. So basically they're a team, which means they could never win. But what I love about this, not only the photo, but the story behind it, is that this team represents truly that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because they cannot win by default, because there are two riders, there's no way they can win the Cannonball. But still they alternate days, and Nimi, who's riding in this photo, going through this tunnel, It doesn't speak a lick of English. So you're talking about riding 3,500
Right.
miles across the country, not speaking any English. And he just goes, and in reference to actually another photo I'm not showing, but I was riding alongside him once in the desert, and I saw the oil just dripping out of the bottom of the engine there, out of the cases. And I'm pointing and I'm going, quick, look down. And he couldn't understand. Finally, he looks down and he sees it and he goes, oh my God. And he pulls over, and he had to make a makeshift drain plug, but got on the way. But boy, I'll tell you, it could be rough not speaking English with all the repairs you have to do, but they're truly self-sufficient. And with reference to last week's photo as well, I think they represent the passion that is behind motorcycles, antique motorcycles in particular, and the Cannonball. These guys, they will take an entire engine apart and crack the cases overnight in the hotel parking lot and get out and be at the start again, ready to go. But now, that being said, they've done all 5 Cannonballs and they have not done every mile yet. So they keep coming back, which is wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
They are so much the spirit of the Cannonball.
Tell me what.
But, with regard to this particular
Tell me what
photograph,
you like.
I call this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I call this photo time travel. Mimi on the 15, and it was as we traveled through Colorado in 2014. And this is one of those things that when you go into a tunnel, now I'm shooting manual, and I know that some people have questions with regard to equipment and whatnot. I'm shooting my DSLR. It happens to be a Nikon, but it doesn't matter what you use. And in case that question comes up again, and I have to make these adjustments very quick. You go through this tunnel and all of a sudden it gets very dark, and I'm struggling and going really quick to make changes to the aperture and shutter speed. And I did talk last week about the feeling of riding through water, that sometimes when you're on a motorcycle, it's like you're just gliding through space, and everything smooths out and it feels really good. And to do that, I sometimes, and in this photo it really shows it, slow the shutter speed way down. This could have been maybe a half-second exposure, something like that. And I thought time travel was really suitable as a title, because you're talking about a motorcycle. At this point, it was 99 years old, but basically a 100-year-old motorcycle. So it's like going back in time. But then there's also this sense of that light at the end of the tunnel, going from one universe into another, changing time zones, changing centuries. And to me, that's what this represents, especially, the way he's dressed and the bike he's wearing, the strange lighting, which is all, by the way, out of camera. I don't do adjustments. I try to make the photo look the best it can, but that's the color of those sodium vapor lights as you go through a tunnel. So that's basically the story behind that photo.
It's a great photo.
Well, that's a great shot, Michael. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pleasure. Every photo, there are so many stories, and it does make me think of these guys. And boy, I'll tell you, there can't be a more wonderful team and spirited team and story behind them.
No, absolutely. You go back to saying that, hey, they could never win the Cannonball. Well, that's definitely not true. They've actually won twice now. Spirit of the Cannonball, with the spirit of their team and the exuberance that they spell out. That they've taken that award home twice now, and we could give it to them every year.
I was going to say it could be hard to beat them.
Right. When you think of Cannonball, you think of Nimi and them. So
Shinya. But going back to the 2010 Cannonball, and I've had the pleasure of photographing all 5, which means I have an amazing series of these 2 guys, which is very cool. But going back to the first Cannonball, that spirit that you're talking about, I think you really felt it with a smaller group, and it was so unknown then at that time how to do things. How do you deal with these repairs that are constant and tearing those engines apart? I remember being at Dale's Wheels Through Time Museum, and boy, he opened a shop up, and I don't know how many engines came completely apart that night. It was truly an amazing feat. So that's what the Cannonball is about. And that's anyone that wants to do it. I think people say they want to do it. They should be. Jason, maybe you could make something where there's a way to people chime in and say, I want to volunteer. And then there's a team that needs a mechanic or a driver or something, because I think there's opportunity for more people to be involved that really want to be involved.
Absolutely. And I do that to a level now. I mean, I'm getting emails and messages daily. How can I be a part? I'm getting the same thing from crews and teams, and I'm trying to put the pieces together to help these people out,
Michael, I have a question about this photo. We go back and look at the full frame. I know from years and years, 2 decades of publishing a magazine, I go back through some of my old photos and I remember that moment in time. And what this makes me ask the question is, what was going on the other sides of the tunnel at that time? What was it? Was it a beautiful sunny day? Was it raining cats and dogs? Was it daytime? Was it? I mean, it looks like it's daytime.
Was it cold?
What part of the daytime?
I honestly cannot remember exactly. Well, I mean, I could tell you. I could actually probably look it up right now. Let me see if I can find that. That was taken at 9:18 a.m., believe it or not.
Yeah.
9:18 a.m. And I'll tell you, we're going up to right there, probably about 10,000 feet, that Eisenhower Tunnel.
That is the Eisenhower. That was a question someone on Facebook was asking.
And he's dressed warm, but not like, some people are wearing fluorescent colors and down and lots of layers. But these guys, they're just wearing old bike clothes and jodhpurs. And I mean, it's amazing. And I'll tell you, we've been through places where it snowed on us, and this is how they dress all the time. I can't imagine how cold they sometimes got. Oftentimes you'll get different weather patterns on the east side and west side of the Eisenhower Tunnel there. But I actually don't recall the exact weather. Now, I could figure it out because my photos are like a diary, so I could look at other photos on that day and tell you specifically. But to me, my memory and looking at this photo, I'm just caught in that moment, how when you're in a tunnel, it is like another world. Sometimes it just, you transform. It's another, you're under half mile of rock and things coming at you. Sound is different, color, light, everything changes, and it's just bizarre.
Well, and I can see, like, when we zoom in here, I've been through this tunnel enough time on cross-country trips that you almost want to say that the weather isn't very nice on the other side. You can almost see, and that's like sometimes, man, when you're getting beat up by weather all day long and you come into that tunnel and you get that break and the temperature comes up a little bit and you get a break from the weather, but you see the end of the tunnel coming and you can see those clouds are letting loose on the other side. I almost want to see that story in this picture. That's
true too. I mean, I've come through that tunnel and be nice on one side, and you come out in a big snowstorm on the other.
Right.
So you really don't.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the case. Cool.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So, Michael, I understand you have a ton of other stuff for us on the next installment of A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words. And I want to thank you for coming on again tonight. And we'll see you next week, maybe.
That's a pleasure. I certainly enjoy showing the photos and talking about the story behind them. So thanks for having me.
Right on, Michael. Thank you so much.
One last point from Michael. If people have any technical questions, Michael said he'd be glad to answer them for you. You can maybe text them, and we'll try and keep track of them and maybe get back to them next week if we can.
Yeah, we could either do it online. I could do it offline. However, people want to contact me through direct message, email, text, whatever you want. I'll get back to them. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was great.
Right.
I love seeing those photos. I mean, there's times that I get up at nighttime, just get on Lichter's site just to view all the different photos that he's taken, not just from the Cannonball, but from all the different events that he does, from Sturgis, Daytona, Myrtle Beach, Born Free, all those different things. I mean,
well, that was
nothing better.
That was really the impetus behind this, because nobody captures that moment in time. You know what I mean? Who will forget Puppy doing the Iron Cross on the back of the motorcycle going past the mountain in South Dakota, Bear Butte Mountain? Who will forget Paul Cox racing towards the storm in that picture, or the city park? Like, just those iconic moments come from somebody being able to see that is that moment.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see what he comes
Chris,
out for the next Cannonball.
Go ahead.
Chris, let me break in a second. Let's talk about the logos at the top of the screen, and maybe you could give us a little rundown on that.
Yeah, so like anything, man, I mean, we're doing this out of a labor of love, but those logos are people that are supporting us, helping us get this show out there. And whether it's a couple bucks or they're helping us share the stream, obviously the Retro Cycle Studio is giving us more than their fair share of support, so they get the big billing. But if you guys are interested in helping the show go along, get a hold of us at cyclesourcemain@comcast.net, or hit us up through the website or through the Motorcycle Cannonball website, and we can get your business featured up on the top there too.
Excellent.
And that logo at the top is not etched in stone. Somebody wants to buy the studio rights, the naming rights for the studio. It's up for sale. So
there you go.
That's where we come to you every week and say, hey, this is the Motorcycle Cannonball Chronicles coming to you live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the Retro Cycle Studios.
That's what it is for now anyway.
All right.
And I just shout out to the Rocky Mountain Motorcycle Museum. They're friends of ours, and I believe they're going to be a sponsor coming up pretty soon. So we're pretty excited about that.
Excellent.
That's my friend Jim Ware, Jason's friend Jim Ware. Good guy and a great museum. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them tonight. So
Excellent.
I think Chris prepared a title card for us for Steve Rinker and his clan. I don't know if that is it, Chris?
No, I actually don't have it here because we were dealing with so many audio issues pre-show. I'm sorry, man.
So are you ready to bring these guys
so
back?
we did take off on Meet the Fockers.
Yeah. I'll put that up on our social media tomorrow
Let's
for everybody.
bring the Rinkers back in.
Right on.
Yeah, let's bring them back.
Let's bring the Rinkers back in and go back to Steve. I have a question for him from Chris Simmons.
We're going to go back to Steve?
Well, Steve, are you on the audio?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
Hey, Steve, are you still awake?
Yeah, barely. Let's go.
I know it's way past your bedtime down there. I know it. Shit, I know you're missing that vodka too.
Hey, yeah. I still drink that same old 5-cent vodka too, Jason.
Oh, I know. I still got nightmares thinking about it.
You'll wake up.
Hey,
One of these.
So real quick, Chris, you got a question?
Well, I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to say, all kidding aside, if you've ever been to this family's place, it is truly, truly a little slice of heaven. Like God himself took his finger and drug it through some mountains and just made this beautiful valley, man. Like, I don't know how you ever leave there. It would take something like the Cannonball to drag my ass away from that place, because that would just be it for me. It's beautiful, peaceful.
It's unbelievable. I actually got a chance this last fall to spend, I think, 8 or 9, 10 days with the Rinkers. And it just happened to be probably one of the funnest times of my life right now. I mean, the experience that I got to stay at their house, to come into their shop and wrench on old Indians, and them teaching me the ways of what they do, feeding me. I got to frickin' chase cows, drive cars, shoot guns, drink cheap vodka. I mean, I was figuring, hey, they're from West Virginia. I'm going to get the best moonshine ever. I'm going to get all, and I get the worst drink ever. But the food was good. Everything was good. The vodka sucks. Everything else good.
You'll have to ask them next 2 Rinker guys about the moonshine and where it went. I think they loaded up on it when they were here the last time. So that's why you didn't get it.
That's what I heard.
Steve,
they were there the week before me and ended up taking the whole stash of shine.
I have a real quick question for Steve.
All right.
Can you tell us about, I heard a story, and I don't know if this is true, but you guys were riding in the rain. It was really a bad day. Everybody was kind of upset with each other. It was a tough night. And somebody says they look over, and there you are on a little dime horse outside a store riding the horse. Is there any truth to that?
Oh, yeah. That was in at the entrance to the Badlands out in South Dakota. We stopped there at this little gas station, and I happened to, I'll never pass up a chance to ride something, and there stood this fine little mechanical pony, and man, I got my quarter in there, and I I went to town riding that thing.
I couldn't wait to send me the video of him riding that pony.
You have
Steve's
a
such
video of
character.
it,
He likes
Edie?
to ride everything. I've seen him ride on the back of people's bikes. You know,
Yeah.
ride gas pumps,
Yeah.
ride little motors, scooters.
I got
We
to
had that
ride
on the
big
chase.
Indian sign
At the
there
beginning of the
Spirit Lake.
chase.
I clumb up on it, got to ride that. Felicia got my picture, and then some guy told me I'd have to get down.
Dang fun haters.
I hear you. I know.
Hey, introduce us to your boys.
And tell them to turn their
If you
microphones
would,
on.
Steve. Tell them to turn their microphones on.
Oh, did we lose them?
Oh,
Do we
yeah.
have another technical difficulty? Oh, there they are. One of them.
Hey, come sit down. Justin Key here.
Hey,
There we go.
Jared, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Not much. You got Justin here too.
Oh, look at that. Guys,
Yeah.
kick back.
Yeah, just hanging out in the
What's
garage.
that?
Yeah.
What do
So
you got
tell us-
behind you
tell-
guys?
Yeah, what do you guys
What's
got
that
behind you?
Oh, okay. So this this bike closest to us is my 1928 Scout. We built it over this past Thanksgiving holiday. I was back home for about 10 days, and we threw this thing together out of all the leftover and unwanted parts, and mix match flywheels, cases, the whole 9 yards. This thing was never a motor. So there's about 100 different motorcycles, and we took all of our pieces and parts and built a bike out of it.
Okay, wait a minute. What year did you say that is?
It's a 28.
I want to know what planet you live on that you were finding unwanted 1928 Indian parts.
well, yeah. When it comes to 101s and 101 parts, my dad's pretty picky. He's kind of a 101. Just kind of is with his tools. He's pretty snobby when it comes to his 101 parts. That's right.
Oh, tell me about it. When I was down there, I was trying to pick out parts for my bike, and he wouldn't let me have nothing.
No. If
Dang.
it's good, he keeps it.
It's not for sale. It's right.
Yeah. So,
101
Yeah, we-
parts. I thought they were all good. Isn't that saying you never wear out the 101 Scout?
that's right. Yeah. So what we did with this bike, a lot of the parts it's not bad parts. A lot of the parts we fixed, and that's the advantage of Dad having a machine shop is, if something's broke or beat or whatever.
That's right. We can fix that anything.
Instead of going back upstairs and getting a good part or a better part, he's like,
Fix it.
well, let's just fix the broken one and put that on your bike. So
Right on.
that's what we did with this.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Tell me a little
Hey,
bit
Jason, by the
about
way,
you guys.
I don't know what happened there, but if you didn't get any moonshine on your trip to West Virginia, you weren't asking the right questions. I guarantee you, keep drinking on that moonshine. There's plenty up there.
I mean, your dad, he likes to sleep in and go to bed early. I was snooping around all over the place. I still couldn't find nothing.
You weren't asking the right questions, or you weren't talking to the right. You got to go down and talk to Buck for a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, so Jared, the bike that you were just explaining, what's the name of that bike?
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't named her yet. I have not named it. I've been calling it a bad bitch. That's kind of been what I've called it. Just putting it together, I kept saying, this is one bad bitch. This is one bad bitch.
Who's the first person to sit on that bike?
Well, it's sad to say it. But we were into the moonshine working on this bike, and I had to go, take a piss. And I came back out around the corner, and there sits my dad, buck naked.
Oh my God!
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh
Oh my God!
Just going to town. I had to get the Lysol and alcohol and everything else just to disinfect it. But yeah, he thought he was funny as shit doing that.
I remember
Yeah,
your
well,
dad
I
sent
think
me
he
that
said
picture.
Are you
nobody's
kidding
ever
me?
sat on that
No,
motorcycle.
I said
No,
you
right?
We've got the picture.
Are you kidding me?
It's from the right angle.
What's wrong with you, Steve? What's wrong with you, man?
don't know.
Come on now.
all day in the shop. He said, "Man, I can't wait to sit on this bike. Nobody has ever sat on this bike before. I can't wait to get on it." So I run around. I bolted the seat up on it real quick, and he was in the bathroom. And I told Justin, I said, "Here, take my picture. Take my picture." And I stripped down. I left my shirt on. I was really riding that motorcycle. It's just badass, all right.
I've got it set up. To haul a passenger right now. But on the Cannonball, it won't be. I'll put my saddlebags back on it, and it'll just be a solo ride. But no, she turned out pretty good. She rides really good. She runs really smooth. We manufactured a set of dual exhausts for it. It gave it a really unique sound. I know my dad always said he wanted to put a set of duals on a 101. He always wanted to do that. Yeah, that's right. And so we put a set of duals on here, and it really has a good sound.
Huh.
Okay.
Nice. Now
It's a sweetheart.
what's
I
the other
actually
bike
got to
back
ride
there?
that when I was down there. I wasn't supposed to tell you that, but
Yeah, I know.
Wait a minute, you're right.
Hang on for a second. I need to bust. I need to bust in on this show. Dee Dee, blink twice if you're not feeling safe. We'll set. No, I'm not kidding now. That poor woman. Listen, on behalf of everybody that's watching this thing right now, there's 3,000 people that just said this woman must be a saint. We need to get you some kind of award.
Saint Didi. We all know her as Saint Didi.
She does got an award. She's got me.
Oh, good. That would be as bad as somebody
boy.
telling Heather that she got me.
Where is your sound effect?
No, actually,
Here, wait.
We need
My
that.
mom's been right there through all this, and she's a great supporter. You know, without all this support, we couldn't do any of this. So,
All right.
we
on.
appreciate everything that she does.
Yeah.
And I say this every day. You know, I love my mom, so she's right there for us.
Okay, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Bird coming in from Facebook says, "But will it go over 45?"
No.
So
I got these set up. They'll do 48. 48, Chris.
yeah.
You got that. You got that good grease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's that
one's
can-
pretty quick, but I'm still gonna ride it. Right around that 45 mile an hour range. Maybe a couple mile an hour above, maybe a couple mile an hour below. But we wanna make it, and we've been pretty successful at it. And one thing he is right about is you don't gotta go fast, you just gotta go far. And so that's been our goal on the Cannonballs, and we have a lot of fun. You get to take in the scenery a lot more when you're doing 45.
Yeah, when everybody else is stopping and grabbing a lunch, we're filling up our gas tanks, and Jared's running and giving us Slim Jims and Gatorade.
I think that moonshine's kicking in.
Yeah, I think so.
So, Steve, I got to tell you, man. I got to tell you, you know, I love my 49 Pan, but that 101 Scout could turn me. It could happen.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go.
It could happen.
Yeah, they're just a great motorcycle. I mean, they're still considered in modern day standards to be one of the top 10 motorcycles ever built. So I mean, that says a lot for a bike that was built, only for 4 years, and they're just a fantastic machine.
I want to know what it's like for you guys watching these young fellas drag along on something like this, man. That's got to be really, really prideful, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, it really is, and that's what I was getting at, like on the 2016 Cannonball when we the three of us came across the finish line. My dad was there, I was there, the twins were with me. This just makes it all worthwhile, man. It's just it's a family thing, and this is, we like to do it, we love to do it, And I mean, it's just awesome.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just to echo that statement, I mean, we wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for my granddad and my dad. You know, ever since Jared and I was little, we've been turning wrenches and, you know, helping out at the shop. And, you know, these guys just made it great for Jared and I. And we couldn't expect anything less, because we've been very fortunate to have a dad and granddad like this. We've been blessed.
I tell everybody all the time, some of my best memories as a child was getting in a truck and driving across the country just to go look at an old pile of parts, an old motorcycle somewhere in some old barn.
That's right.
And we did that. We did that almost
Justin.
every weekend.
Justin, tell me about the blue bike in the background. Tell me about that one.
So the blue bike, that's not my bike. That's my dad's bike. But I've been running it here for a little bit. I just finished up a 101 machine, and we're still working out the details on it, so I didn't bring it out here recently. But the blue bike was a 2018 Cannonball machine that my dad rode, and it achieved a perfect score. You know, you can see all the stickers on it. He rode that thing through every stage with the correct amount of time. And that was that Portland to Portland run that Jason put together. And that's a successful bike right there. That's a good machine.
That bike?
He was cursing that machine all the way across the country, wasn't he?
Yeah. He didn't like how it performed, but it carried him through.
So that bike's got a pretty cool
history
to it. Tell us a little bit of how it got its name.
So, it's a pride runner. So, my father is very passionate about educating the youth in the community, and he's done so much there in the local community where we live. And so he would do these Cannonball machines, and he would introduce them to the local middle school students. And actually, this last Cannonball, they had a competition for like a name, graphic design, color scheme, and everything.
No kidding.
You typically don't see a 101 painted up like this, but they come up with the color scheme, the name, everything, and they called it Pride Runner. And, my dad, like I said, he introduced us to that middle school student class, and they were so excited to be part of this opportunity
because they saw it through the whole build process.
Absolutely. And, bringing folks into the fold and making them feel part of this community, which is what we should be doing. He's very successful in that regard. And I tell you what, they could have said, "Hey, paint this bike pink." He would have painted it pink. Deep down his heart of hearts, it would have hurt him, but he would have painted it pink.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
nice.
That would have been a hell of a year for the rest of us.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to plant the seed next year at Romney Middle School. I'm going to have them throw that out there. Pink or purple, right?
Well, one of the nice things about that too was that every day of the Cannonball, you guys would come on and do a live video or a pre-recorded video for the students and tell them where you were for the day and everything that happened, which was really great. And I knew that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was that's right, Jason. That was very important to him. It didn't matter what we were doing that day. It didn't matter the hardship we ran into or the maintenance we had to perform. That was important to him. So
we stopped to take pictures and just kind of check in and type in our blog, kind of where we were for the day and what we were doing. And the middle school class just kind of followed us along that way.
Right.
So. I understand that you guys are worked for Marathon Oil, and one of you is a real engineer. Is there some backstory to that?
Yeah. So I wish we could say we worked for Marathon Oil. We actually worked for Marathon Petroleum. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so this guy we're both engineers, but according to this guy, he's a mechanical engineer, and I'm a civil engineer by degree. And according to, it's the way the world works. Like the mechanical engineers shit on the civil engineers, the chemical engineers shit on all the engineers. There's a pecking order, but apparently the civil engineers are at the bottom of the barrel, especially when it comes to, gas and oil. Everybody's busting on us, but I guess, according to these guys, he's a real engineer, and I'm just a civil engineer.
So that probably brings us to one of our next. What people probably want to know is, out of the two of you twins, who's going to do better in the next Cannonball?
Oh my God.
That's
Ooh,
kind
here
of
we
a
go.
kiss of death. But I mean, if you follow history would say, you know, I don't have a better
Just
Cannonball.
wait. Yeah, he's going to tell you data doesn't lie. The data will not tell a lie.
I've had
So-
2 perfect scores.
He's got 2 perfect scores. The first thing I broke down in Newark, Delaware, of transmission issues, and then on the second run, my Magneto haunted me. So, to his point, the data won't lie. I mean, he's had 2 perfect runs, and I have not. So I'm kind of the black sheep of the family right now, and I'm trying to feel myself. I'm gonna do whatever it takes this year, Jason. You know, I appreciate what you and Leanne do, and you know, none of this would be possible without you guys. So we appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, what's
and,
that picture?
You know, I'm
Oh, look at that.
I'm gonna make you proud, Jason. I'm gonna run your perfect score this year.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me about that picture. What's up? What's going on there?
Who is that?
All right.
Who is that?
So this was when I actually visited Steve last fall, and I had him cleaning my bike, cleaning the tires.
No.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Woof.
That's a great.
That's how well I ranked with him. Big shot in my
that's too
tires,
funny.
boy.
Hey, Steve,
such
I
the
got a
best
bunch of
time
bikes
there.
here for you to clean.
What's that?
I got a bunch of bikes here for you to clean if you want to come up.
Yeah, I tell you what, Rob, you load them up and bring them down here, and I'll jump right on that in the morning.
Okay. I'll see you in the morning, Steve. You ain't that far.
So let's hear from Steve. What do you think about the boys?
Well,
Uh-oh.
listen, this here. Let me get this camera turned around here for you. This bike here this is Justin's bike. Out of
Oh.
the 3 bikes, you know, Justin played it smart this go around. You know, he's been down at Cannonballs, and Justin, I told him, I said, you know, you need to pick you out a good 101 for this next one, and we went over to the museum, and Justin pulled this one out, and he rode it over to the shop, and we totally disassembled it, rebuilt everything. And 7 days later, we rode it to lunch. This is a really nice all original 101 that he started with, and it was just a perfect rebuild. I mean, you know, everything was there, everything fit, everything was in good condition. You know, we just put in new wheel bearings and brakes, new neck bearings. We done a whole new motor, and you know, and it's just it was a real good bike to work on. And so, you know, I think out of the 3 bikes, you know, I think I'd be wanting to ride this one here. So we got big hopes for this bike, and hopefully it'll pull him to the finish line this year.
I'm betting it will. Just on the looks alone,
Oh,
that thing
that's
will get
great.
across.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Hey, Justin, Cole Deister chimed in here a bit ago, telling us about a story of you breaking down in the middle of a girls' college. What's up with that?
Yeah, so you know there was opportunity.
A breakdown?
Different ways, but there was one time I just came across the bridge coming into Delaware and hit this little town in Newark, Delaware, and there was like 1,000 stoplights, and I knew my machine was struggling, and I couldn't get it in and out of gear, so I just sat there for a little bit. And then as I began to sit there, I realized, you know, there was a lot going on. And
Nice little college town.
Nice little college town, that's right, in the town of Newark, Delaware. The college I was used to, I went to University of Kentucky, and you know, the guy to girl ratio was a little skewed. But I would say in this college town, it was the opposite direction. And there was a lot. It was a warm day, and you know, it's just.
Good scenery.
Perfect place to break down. That's right. I can't think of anything else than that. I'm a married man. Perfect place to break down. But we,
Oh, that's
when
too
that
funny.
truck came through and Cole came through, yeah, them guys sat there. They took their sweet time loading my bike that day. But I appreciate what they do, and they just they were impressed on that day.
I'd be surprised if they swept you right out of there.
Yeah. No, they took their sweet old time. I don't think we swept out of there for at least an hour, but it was a good thing. It was a fun day.
That's great. So,
Well,
I want to hear one more
You know what that
question
means,
from the
Jason?
Twins. We talked about
okay.
Who's going to be the best on a motorcycle out of the Twins. I want to know who's tougher.
It's definitely me. No. You can't listen to him. He may be able to ride a motorcycle, but the toughness comes this way. There's nobody that's gonna put up with as much as I do. I might be able to ride the bike, but no, the toughness comes this way.
Steve, indeed.
Chris, can
Steve,
we get back to them?
what do you think
I
about
want to
that?
see the forearms.
I don't know. I'm not even going to get into both with that. I've fixed a lot of holes in drywall in my time. So from
That's funny.
we bought them boxing gloves and football helmets one year for Christmas. They just wouldn't let up. I said, "Hey, you guys want to have at it? Here you go." And that was 2 or 3 nights a week.
Hey,
So they're both pretty tough.
That's great.
Rebecca Cunningham said the toughest one of the bunch is Dee Dee. So you guys are all set.
Absolutely, yeah. I would agree with that.
All right. So as we're starting to wrap up here, getting to the end of our time, I want to just kind of go through each one of you individually, starting with Steve and Dee Dee. What are we expecting in the next 3 months from you guys, and what's your Cannonball prediction?
Oh, always a good time. We're Cannonball family. I mean, all of us, when we all get together, it's like we've never parted. It's pretty cool when we all get together again.
Right. Steve, what's your prediction?
I don't know. I just want to predict that we have the thing, and I've already canceled the banquet for the start and finish line, so there's no banquets. We don't have to worry about social distancing, and we're going to have a riders meeting, safety meeting via Facebook. So it's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be one of the easiest Cannonballs because there's not going to be a lot of partying and stuff like that.
You're trying to give me a bunch of hate mail this week, huh?
Send it my way.
I think the boys from White Trash Racing might have something to say about that, Steve.
Yeah. All right.
I was just going to say one of the main things my grandfather said before he left this shitty old world was you go to hell for lying as well as stealing. About there not being party on the Cannonball. Come on now.
Right.
That's half the people's experience right there.
Right on.
All right. How about from the Twins? What's up for the next 3 months, and what's the prediction of the Cannonball?
Well, we're all three riding 101s this year, so that's a plus. I'm confident that all three of us are going to have really, really good rides because we're riding 101s. You can't go wrong with the 101, and we're just going to keep testing our bikes out and fine tuning them, and really looking forward to it. I have no doubts in my mind, Jason Sims, that you're going to pull this one off. It's going to be another epic ride. So it's the one.
Right.
It's the biggest thing that I have to look forward to in life. Every other year, I can't wait for the day. I can't wait for the start. Hell, I can't wait to get up there for tech inspection just to see everybody. So
yeah, and go along with what Jared said there, and echo my mom's sentiment. We got a family we got to get back to here. We got a lot of folks that we're really close to. And, this is that time of year we get to see them. And that's what this is about. it's this community that we're tied to. And honestly, the next 3 months, my prediction is we're none of us is going to sleep for the next 3 months. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. Nobody's going to sleep for the next 3 months, and then when we get there, it's going to be a great time, great reunion, and everybody's going to have a blast. Whether we have perfect scores or we don't, that's irrelevant. I can say that because I'm a black sheep. Whether we got perfect scores or we don't, yeah, Ace over here. Ace has got to keep his score going. Whether we get perfect score or not, we're having fun. At the end of the day, it's about this family, and it's about spending this time with each other. And you can't beat it. And honestly, Jason, you and Leanne have done such a fantastic job. We can't thank you enough. And fingers crossed, we're hoping this is still a go. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but we're ready. And we're not sleeping just like you. So.
Oh, absolutely. No. I appreciate guys like you, the families, the teams. Really, the Cannonball is always about friends and family, and then it's the friends that become your family. Right. And having a family reunion here every 2 years is I don't even have words for it because you just can't explain what happened. So
this is what Lonnie Jr. wanted. This is what Lonnie Jr. wanted. This is what there was nothing about score. There was nothing about perfection. He wanted this community. Yeah.
Nope. We're just going to go out there and ride Indians.
That's right.
And Harleys.
Oh, Brand.
Yeah. And Hendersons and Excelsiors and all those other brand bikes besides the Harleys.
Yeah, there's a bunch of $5 bikes out there too.
Hey, Rob, hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can
Rob,
hear you, Steve.
You know what hillbillies and Harley Davidsons both have in common?
On that note, we'd like to say goodnight.
Thank you all Steve, you're breaking up all of a sudden. I don't know what's.
Steve, your signal's no good.
Both of them in the bed of a
Steve, when we bring you back, you can tell us that. How's that
sound? Dang.
Oh God.
Awesome.
Hey, we didn't say that. We said that.
Well, we appreciate you guys. What the heck was that? The train.
Well, it's time to bring this Cannonball train into the station, Jason. So you want to take it away? Thank our guests.
Yeah. We appreciate everything you guys do. The family. Thanks for bringing me into your family before. Thanks to the audience out there for all your questions and comments. Please bring us any feedback that you have. We have a really great show planned for you next week. It's just going to keep getting better and better every week as we're getting more and more comfortable with this. We definitely want to bring all these people back again. We have lots more stories that we could have got into. We could have been here for 6-7 hours tonight,
Absolutely.
Chuckling and laughing and having a good time. But we want to keep bringing some of these back. Don't you think, Rob?
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole idea of this show. These guys have their act buttoned up, but I'm sure there's some other folks whose bikes are still in process, and we'll see that in upcoming shows. So I'm pretty excited to meet some more of the Cannonballers or see some of my old friends. So we have a lot of people lined up for you guys to see, and hopefully you'll stick with us, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you need more Cannonball content, you can check out our Facebook page, Instagram page. Something that's really exciting lately is our YouTube page. We're posting videos on there about every 2 or 3 days now, and just putting you some really, really good content out there. So check it out.
Right on, man. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys for letting us be part of that. From the studio, we want to tell everybody thank you for having us on.
Hey, look at the studio. Hi, Missy.
And this show is incredible. Couple little glitches we're trying to get over tonight, but like I said again and again, if you want to make sure this thing is going to go to the next step, make sure you hit the like and share button, set up your notifications, and make sure you pass this along, because this is the history and tradition of motorcycling unfolding right before you. So, and we'll be coming back again live next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the Retrocycle Studio.
In the meantime, go ride your bike.
Have a good time and stay safe.
Wrench, ride, and repeat, repeat, repeat.
That's right.